thank you to our 3 sponsors for supporting our podcast. Johnny Russell's Art Caterers and Milltown Pies, who offer fantastic catering services, Alexander Grace Law, who provide modern and client-led legal services, and SBE Furnishings, who offer high-quality furnishings and electrical items at fantastic prices.
So, on that note, this episode is a little bit of a welcome back to the podcast, the Housecast for all our listeners. Get a legend of the club down, Matt Marquis, who's done so much, and he's a proper, you chop his arm off, he's got Lowerhouse running through it. So we thought at the same time we'd get someone on who is extremely similar to Matt, loves the club through and through, and
possibility.
And hopefully will give us an update and have a bit of a ray of sunshine in these dark times towards the season. Just welcome our MD Matt Stanley. Welcome, Stanley. Welcome. Thanks for coming back on.
Evening, no problem, Jez. Are we all playing nice?
Yeah, it's gone well. It's gone great. I'm glad you've not been listening, really, Stanley, because I don't really want to talk to you about cricket anymore. I just want to discuss with you a band called Babbage, and you practicing in Scott Park bandstand. You're singing, thinking you're Liam Gallagher. What were all that about?
I think you'll find Babbage still an undiscovered gem, Jez. Yeah, we didn't have much talent. We had a lot of enthusiasm towards certain aspects of being rock stars, namely the drinking, the women, and hopefully the money that would come with that. But no, our musical talents weren't great. We damaged by graffiti a lot of furniture at Ivy Bank. Babbage was
cases.
Yeah, Babbage was well known.
Cases.
Yeah, Babbage was well known throughout Ivy Bank because it was on every toilet door and every second desk. So we were famous without actually doing anything. Did Matt tell you about the demo tape that we produced? So
I've heard of
science teacher.
It got played in the assembly on a Monday morning assembly, and all girls thought you were singing it.
Yeah, Mr. Deeren getting played in basketball hall thought we were the next big thing, then, isn't it?
He did, yeah. And there were people coming up to us asking us when our next gig were. But the interesting thing about that, and quite funny, we nicked the song off a band called the Cornerstones. And we created like a bit of a sleeve for it that had our names on it. And what we did, we did introductions. So we said, we are Babbage. We made up a recording studio, which was called the Go For It Recording Studios in Briarfield.
Fantastic.
So we introduced it saying, we're Babbage, we're at the Go For It Recording Studios in Briarfield. We introduced ourselves individually, said hello. And then we cut into the song. Which was actually a song called Porno Pirates by the Cornerstones. Now, about probably 20 years later to the day, I was in the Inn on the Wharf at a function, and a fella was in the same group as I was, talking, and I thought, I recognise that chap. It was a fella called Niall McConaughey, and he was the lead singer of the Cornerstones. So I came clean and told him the story, and I said to him, I've got a confession to make now. And he was absolutely made up by it when I told him.
Yeah.
He was straight on the phone to the other lads from the band, texting him, telling him what I just told him. He thought it was absolutely fantastic.
So what MM's told us about, you did absolutely nothing. You might have had a guitar and that was it, but you didn't do anything else. You actually did. You recorded your names and then played someone else's song.
I'd forgot about that recording. I'd forgot about recording the names.
That was done at Shakespeare Street, that, Matt, in your front room.
Well, do you know what it's reminded me of that, Jez, though? Tell them about that Christmas song that me and you wrote, Stanley.
Yeah.
In music, in Mr. Milton's music class.
I can remember the words to that. Do you want me to sing it?
I can remember words as well.
Yeah, sing it. Go on, duet.
What does Christmas hold for me?
I've got no friends, no family to see. On Christmas Day, you'll be having a roast. I'll be having beans on toast, and then it were a big keyboard crescendo. All the way down keyboard, press all things, and then it was like into a whole beat started. It was like a bit of a Christmas disco hit.
The lyrics are fantastic. I can't believe you didn't make it.
I know.
As I said, Jez, undiscovered gem, clearly, aren't we?
Yeah,
Do
clearly.
you think this would be a good time to talk about Matt's other musical career?
Absolutely perfect time, yeah.
Go on,
Because
Matt,
this is-
tell
we
us, you're
split up.
in another band.
Yeah, musical differences. Matt was more, we were more sort of indie music. Matt wanted to sing boy band chart hits. I think he saw
I
the
took a different musical direction, Jez.
Yeah.
So go on, tell us how that came about, Matt, and what happened.
So, 99, I went to uni in Luton. Didn't actually do much university work. Well, probably went to 3 lectures in 2 years, probably. Worked in a nightclub. Came home in the first year, and a lad that I'd been at uni with ended up getting in a boy band, and they went over to Mallorca in 2000 and worked for the bloke who put the Spice Girls and Five together. They worked over there for a year, and then 2 of the lads went on to find fame and fortune, and he needed 2 more people to join this band.
Right.
So me and another lad that I lived with got a phone call. Do you fancy coming to work in Mallorca for a summer? All your accommodation's paid for. You have to work an hour and a half a night, and that was pretty much it. Like, yeah.
How old were you?
21. Yeah, but 21 would have been. So went out there in April and stayed for 7 months in the first year, and was voted the #1 act on the island.
Fantastic.
The first in one of the clubs that the agent owned, we were the first ever act to bring 1 million pesetas behind the bar in a night.
1 million pesetas worth 25 quid. What?
Oh, we're still the first, yes.
What sort of music did you dance to?
Popular music.
Popular? Anything in particular?
Also, Backstreet Boys, Five,
Brilliant.
you name
I
it,
think
all the stuff like that.
you
Yeah,
did a great version of All Rise, didn't you, Matt, by Blue, was it?
When we came back in after the first year we were there, obviously we were still doing a little bit of it over here. We did some showcases when you used to go around in certain companies who put all the acts out all over. What they used to have these showcases all over England, and there were one in Blackpool, and we said that we'll go to it. So we invited this set of numpties to come and watch, and I think they were pleasantly surprised. So they all came to watch, and as much as I do get ridiculed for it, it was a fantastic 2 years living in the sun rent free.
And I bet you have some great stories for it.
Probably none that can be told on here. My mum might listen to this.
Why don't you take your top off? That's it, Matt. That's it. Take your top off.
Hey, it's a classic.
That's it. Go on again.
It's like my shower soundtrack every day.
Well, that's how you grooved it up.
And what was the band called, Matt? Tell us what the band was called.
Forbidden.
Did it have any other perks, Matt, on the job?
Plenty, yeah. Free drinks and all sorts.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Can you imagine? No, that's an interesting story, Matt. I didn't realise. I knew you'd done something about boy dancing, and I thought.
Boy dancing. It obviously impacted on my cricketing career for a couple of summers.
Yeah, it sounded like it. What we'll do is, I think, because now, obviously you've got 2 of your muckers on, Matt, you've got with Stanley and Joe, let's discuss with the MD about what's gone on at the cricket club over the autumn period, and, anything that went on in summer. It was great to see the club open, and it was fantastic to get the support that we got from you know, from people coming down having a pint when they were allowed to, and then let's think about what's going to happen in the future. So we'll be a bit serious for 5 or 10 minutes, talk it through, and then we'll go back to maybe some funny stories from the Rugrats. So Stanley, have you much to tell us in the way of news from what's gone on and what could go on in the future for the cricket club?
Yeah, plenty, to be honest. Just to pick up on what you said there, Jez, it was great to see the club open in the summer. It was also great to see so many new faces at the club, people coming in the club having a drink, sitting outside. So we did see a lot of new people at the end of the summer, probably brought about by the fact that lockdown had been difficult, and we're a great place to get outside and have a drink, aren't we? So it was great to see those people. We hope that they come back next year. Obviously, our bread and butter as a club is private functions, really. So this period is a little bit more difficult because we've effectively got next to no income at the moment. Now, we were able to manage that. We've got some of the government support that you've probably seen announced on TV, so that's keeping things ticking over. But what we've decided to do is basically renovate the club. So we've been talking over the last sort of 18 months about different projects for renovating the space that we've got within the club and making things better. And we've taken the enforced closure, so to speak, as the perfect opportunity, because one of the problems we had was, at what point do we close? Because as soon as we close, we're obviously cutting off income streams. So the enforced closure is probably, to some extent, done us a little bit of favour with that, and we've started quite a bit of work on the facilities.
Oh, fantastic! That I know Joe Martins, because he's moved into the West End room now, has said that it's limited for making his brews and using the hall of the cricket club. So what work's been done down there, Matt?
We've done the ladies and gents toilets. We've had a complete top to bottom refurb. We've had new ceilings throughout the club. All the bars been renovated and made to look totally different, I would like to think, than what it looked at the end of the season.
Yeah.
The place is being decorated. And we've got the last two pieces to do, really. We've got probably what's going to turn out to be the most expensive project, the roof above the dance floor. As we've started doing the work that we've done, it's become abundantly clear that that's just completely shot. And we're going to have to get that replaced in full.
The external roof, Stanley?
The external roof, yeah. So all the ceilings have been done, or the ceilings up to that point have been done in the club, and they look fantastic, new lighting and everything. But unfortunately, the external roof above the dance floor is absolutely shot. So
is that the best way around to do that, Stanley? Doing internal ceilings before external roof? Is that sensible way around to do that?
Well, we haven't done the internal ceilings where the roof's going to be replaced, Joe. So we have thought about it. And then once that's done, we'll be having new carpets down as well. So,
Excellent.
and I would like to think that when people walk in, when they see it for the first time after when we reopen, I'd like to think that there will be a little bit of a little bit surprised, a bit of a wow factor for them when they see it. Because I've seen it probably every day for the last 2 months now as the work's been ongoing. So I'm getting used to seeing it. But I think when you first walk in and see it, it might surprise you a little bit just how it looks.
Oh, Brant, fantastic! That's good. So you're saying there the external roof going towards the dance side of it is neck. And I mean, to be fair, how old would that be? It's probably.
Well, it's some of the timber in there, I believe, is over 70 years old.
Yeah.
But the actual roof itself has been replaced. Is probably taking it a stretch too far looking at it. The roof has been sort of patched up over the years. Yeah. But it's effectively got to the point of no return. I think I was in there with Joe Martin the other week and pointed out to an area where there's actually no wood left. It's just felt. So it's just the thing's completely knackered. Yeah.
A bit like Trigger's broom.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I do. It's quite interesting because that was, I think, an extension from the original bar going back when probably Blaise was in under 15s, So it'd be fantastic that. So the external roof is all going to be replaced, or is that going to be replaced where necessary?
It's all going to be replaced. The thing's coming off, and hopefully we'll have a bit of a vaulted ceiling down there as well. So it might even create a little bit more space. And
brilliant.
If we get it, if it looks as well as what we hope it's going to look, we're probably going to make that area a bit more usable as well by sticking another TV on the wall at the end of the dance floor.
Yeah.
So that when we've got things like the World Cup and stuff like that, we can make best use of all the space we've got.
Yeah, ideal, great work, and good on you and the rest of the directors and committees and everything for cracking on. And I bet Joe Martin's giving it a good coat of looking at every day.
I think you've been in a couple of times, haven't you, Joe, just to check that they're working hard?
I have. I mean, I'm not a practical man, Jez. I'm an ideas man.
You don't want to damage those piano fingers now, do you?
No, absolutely not. I mean, if you were to look at my hands, you'd think, oh, Jesus, they've never been.
He's 8.
Never been near it.
That's great news, Matt. So that bodes well, and it's very sensible whilst the club's shut to get it done, albeit, I'll come back to the funds and paying for it. It must be crippling us a little bit, that.
Yeah, we've got some inheritance money and things that we've decided we're going to put towards it.
Okay.
Whilst we're waiting for that money, we availed ourselves of the government bounce back loan, sort of in the knowledge that we'll be able to pay it back before the interest kicks in, because the money that we're expecting will have arrived by that point.
Yeah.
We've had a great response in the last few weeks to subs payments.
Yeah.
I think probably last night we passed £3,000 in payments for subs so far for next season, which is
It's brilliant, that, isn't it? So
excellent.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. And again, Matt, I think it's important to mention it now that because there's vaccines out there, because it's tough now, it's very difficult, but things are looking a little bit rosier. And crikey, if we're still anywhere near this position next April, so people paying the subs early, they're still going to get the benefits of the club. They're still going to look forward to a spring and a summer and some great cricket out of it. It's not a donation, is it? So we'll get people to pay that early. Fantastic.
Yeah, we've already started planning for. I met with organiser in chief of functions the other night, suitably social distance, of course. Well, it's difficult with Tony to distance yourself too far and stay in the same room. But I met with him the other night with Frank and Stan briefly, and we just discussed some options. So, as you recall, before lockdown, we were meant to be having the beer and gym festival, weren't we? So we were looking at resurrecting that, and we've sort of decided that we're not going to go down that route for this Easter because there's still an element of uncertainty. But what we're going to plan for the Easter weekend this year is effectively a socially distanced music event. So in the event that there are still certain restrictions in place, we will be able to facilitate that. In the event that the restrictions are lifted, we can just sell more tickets, is the sort of view that we've taken.
Yeah.
And we're going to look to, I think the Beer and Gym Festival will be the week after the season's concluded. So plan, we're going to try and get that in the hope that with all the vaccine stuff and everything, we'll be back fully up and running by then. And
it's probably worth mentioning at this stage, Matt, that since we've had all the troubles in the last 6-12 months, we've had a few more members, 10 I think members of the 100 Club, which is great to keep the club ticking along when you can't sell beer. So anyone who wants to join, don't hesitate, speak to anyone from the club. Email myself or give me a ring. You can get me details, anything off Twitter, and we can make you a member. Just going back to the socially distanced music event, I mean, it's got to be socially distant, but if the weather is great and we can have it outside, I'm just wondering what your thoughts are of trying to approach, maybe Babbage and Forbidden and see if
I don't honestly, Jez. I don't think club will be able to cope with the interest. It'll be like Oasis.
I'd pay good money to watch Babbage.
Yeah.
It said socially distanced, Jez. We'd need Nebworth Park for that.
Yeah. So anyway, Matt, that's fantastic. That's great news around the way the club keeps ticking along. Is there anything you can report around, from the league exec or, the cricket side of it. I know the fixtures have just come out. I think they've all come out in the last day or two. They've been on Twitter. Is there anything you can update us with around that?
Yeah, like you say, the fixtures are out. I think our fixtures, I'm quite pleased with them, to be honest. We've got a couple of what you'd class as particularly tough runs, but I think the tough runs fall at decent times as well for us. And then we've got, there's no easy games. That top division, the standard next year is going to be absolutely phenomenal looking at it. Or phenomenal, I should have said. Looking at it, I think it's going to take some winning. Obviously, the cup draw we've got to buy in the cup. I believe the Lancashire Cup's going to be a repeat of what we were meant to be in this year. So right. I think we played Denton St Lawrence in that.
Cancelled.
This round. No, unfortunately not for you, Joe. We played Denton St Lawrence, I think, in the first round in the T20s. Again, T20s, we've decided we're going to try and get in early and apply for licences for maybe the music to be outside on those nights in the event that we're not back fully functional in the club as well. So there's all kinds of thought going into it.
Yeah.
Is the plan to have that because you used to have that really good DJ, don't you, on T20 nights? Will he be there again?
I'm hoping so, yeah.
What would he call it?
So I know a lot of people just turn up for the DJ, and they're not really interested in the cricket.
Yeah.
Whatever you pay him, that must be well worth it.
Yeah.
Jez, on one of the nights when we had the legendary DJ here, Dom Stewart's granddad asked him if he could turn the music down. He came out of his car to say it was too loud. Can you turn it off?
I'm no doubt he did. He's a good lad. He's that DJ. He's a good lad. That's great, Stanley. Is there anything else you want to pass on to the supporters or the players or anyone else out there before we move on with the podcast?
Joe can probably just give you a very quick update on the playing side. We've got a pro. We're just not in a position to announce it just at this moment in time for various reasons. But we're very happy with the pro that we've got signed up, and we think that'll.
I was going to say, it's not me.
I think he'll be a major asset to us as a club, not just this year, but hopefully beyond that.
Right.
When do you think we'll be able to make an announcement in that regard, Stanley?
When Lancashire... Oh, sorry. Will you cut that bit out, please? Hopefully, he's got some other commitments. He's just got to draw a line under it. So as soon as that's done, and that's all confirmed...
When Shields has cleared his spare bedroom for him.
I mean, that's thanks for that update, Stanley, and I know everyone will be eagerly awaiting it. It'll be announced as soon as it can be announced. Joyce, do you want to talk us through any amateurs, any good young kids that are coming through, the new signings, people who've left?
I don't think we've had anybody leave, Jez. Not that I'm aware of. I'm just trying to think now, but I don't think we've had anybody leave, and we haven't signed any amateurs. We've got some very promising young lads who their names have already been mentioned on this podcast. A few lads who got to play in the first team in this short season last year: Tom York Robinson, Henry Cottam, and George Durkin being the three who are only 15 and 16, I think those three lads are, and they all played in the first team last year. So, yeah, we've got high hopes for them.
Brilliant.
Joe, can I make a request? Can we have George in whichever team's playing at home? Please, can you put him in that? Because George, his dad turns up and sups about 10 pints a game. So,
okay, fine, no worries.
Perfect.
Teams have been picked on far less logic than that, so why not?
And I could do with him doing some dry lining for us as well on the around the dance floor. His dad. So if you can scram him at first team where you can, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's priorities. That's what clubs like ours are run on, and so that's it's fantastic news, and we can look forward to March and April and get all this out of the way. This last 9 months done and dusted, and we all move on, as a cricket club family, and look forward to the future. So.
send more house to save the house.